Fun fact about this movie is that when it came out, I, for some reason, thought this was going to be in the Trainspotting universe. And boy, was I wrong. Mittens. Mittens, you're in the shot. Mitt. She's eating. Welcome to Gotcha Reviews. I'm Spencer Gotchas, and today I'll be talking about a movie that came out a year ago. Because nothing says good movie reviewer than talking about movies that came out a year ago. Blindspotting is a movie directed by Carlos Lopez Estrada and not only stars David Diggs and Rafael Casal, but is also written by the two lead actors as well. And I thought I was not familiar with any of this director's work, but looking at his IMDb, he directed an episode of Legion, which is one of the most visually striking TV shows I've ever seen. And he has also directed one of my favorite music videos I've seen in the past couple of years, When the Party Is Over by Billie Eilish. If you have not seen that, please go check that out on YouTube. It is hauntingly beautiful. Highly recommend. But going into this movie, the only thing I really heard about it is that it is a very realistic interpretation of gentrification. Gentrification is the process of renovating or improving a house or district so it conforms to middle class. And with that definition, I totally agree that this movie is a very strong representation of what this does to a community. And these two main characters are best friends. They've known each other for a long time, and they were born and raised in Oakland. And they work as two movers. So I found this really interesting because even though these two characters are going through gentrification and they are not a fan of it, they are the ones that are actually working and actually are part of the process, which I think is super fascinating. Not only that, this movie has a lot more to say about race relations with police and with a friend who isn't necessarily the race that you are. And I guess my favorite part about this movie is that the way it handles this subject matter is not in this heavy-handed, dramatic way. There's actually a lot of levity in this movie, which I love. There's so many moments I found myself laughing, where in a movie like this, I didn't expect to laugh. And that's always a plus for me. This movie also has multiple viewpoints, even though it focuses on the main character, Colin, who commits a felony, which you don't actually get to know what the felony is until much later in the movie, but he is trying to rectify himself, even though his best friend is the one that's holding him back. And that relationship itself is so interesting. I can't stress enough how just interesting this movie is, even though the storyline is so simple and so human. This movie is so human, and that is why I think I really love this movie. Plus, this movie kind of panders to me in a way where hip-hop is kind of infused in this movie. The soundtrack is amazing, and there are so many scenes of the two best friends trying to riff off each other, improv off each other, trying to make up these silly bars while they're stripping out a house and throwing away all the trash. And being the part of gentrification, they are freestyling and rapping off each other, which is great. And then on top of that, it all culminates in this pivotal scene at the very end of the movie that is beautiful. Just the wordplay that is used and the way that Colin finally gets to express himself at the end of this movie and how he feels, it's heartbreaking. It's devastating, and it's brilliantly done. I cannot stress how good this movie is, and I cannot believe I did not see this movie until now. Like, this movie is what I love about movies. Kind of like Jojo Rabbit, this movie has a lot to say, and it has an important message to tell everybody, and it does it. It delivers in the way that I think is the strongest way this movie could do it. So if you are interested in anything that I've said, please go check this movie out on HBO. That's how I watched it. As soon as I figured out that it was on HBO, I immediately went and watched this movie, and I do not regret it. Please go check out Blindspotting. No, it has nothing to do with Trainspotting. Guys, thank you so much for watching my reviews. Starting this YouTube channel is something that I've always wanted to do, so I'm happy that I finally am starting to work on it and starting to get my thoughts out there in the world. Now, the next review that you should look forward to is that tomorrow I'm going to go see Parasite. And I am so excited to go see that movie, and of course I'm going to come right home, write a review on it, and try to share it with you as soon as possible. So try to keep your eyes out for that. And without further ado, that's the end of the video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!